Hey there, so I'm going to do a video now on the top 10 best ways to grow organic vegetables. Basically, there's at least a certain amount of things you have to do in order to grow vegetables well. A lot of people, especially beginners, make quite a lot of mistakes, and if you kind of skip any of these kind of tips, then basically you're going to not have success. So that's what I'm doing. Also, it's going to be my first episode of a series that I'm going to do, and it's going to be called How to Grow. I decided to keep it very simple. A lot of kind of basic information on basically how to grow different types of vegetables, culinary herbs, also medicinal herbs, and that's because I really want to teach you guys really well how to do it from start to finish, that you kind of know how to kind of go about it, because I've seen so many people start the first year and they kind of get a bit disillusioned because they make too many mistakes. And having said that, mistakes are good. That's how we all learn in gardening. Don't expect to be a great gardener the first year. Actually, often the first year is very good, and that's to do with the soil. And the second year is usually worse, but don't expect to actually learn a lot until you've done at least like 3 years of gardening. So we're going to start with my top 10 list, and we're going to look at firstly positioning a vegetable garden. That's very important. We're going to look at basically wind. Wind damage is actually a very important thing when you're growing vegetables. Did you know that if you grow your vegetables in a kind of a windy spot, you're going to have 30% less of a kind of crop, or even the size of your plants. Sometimes even your plants will be damaged altogether. So trying to create kind of natural barriers, like creating your vegetable garden in a kind of a pocket where there's some kind of shrubs or anything, maybe trees or something like that, around your vegetable garden, is actually very good. Also positioning your garden south facing is of course way better. If you're really stuck, then west or east is okay. Now, for obvious reason, never position your garden on a slope north facing, because you're not going to get sunlight, and sunlight is the most important thing for plants to actually grow. So that's kind of covers the first bit. So shelter, and also positioning your plants, your vegetable plot in the right spot. So at number 9, we're going to look at compost. Now, compost comes in two forms. Either it comes from an animal, or it comes from like veggie peelings, or grass clippings, straw, and so on. And what's really important is that you can actually make two different types of compost heaps, and one is a cold compost. It takes usually about a year. It's usually much better, has much more microorganisms in it. Now, if you're making a heated compost, it only takes about 6 weeks, 6 to maybe 8 weeks for it to be ready. And that's because what you do is you stack it really high, about 1.20 meters at least, and the microorganisms in there, in the compost, actually heat up the pile by actually gobbling up all the matter, the organic matter, and it really turns your compost into your pile of organic matter into actually a lovely pile of nice smelling compost. Now, you must make sure that you turn these heaps, because often they get way too hot, and that is something that you really have to kind of check maybe every 2 or 3 days. Also, if you see any kind of dry matter inside of it, maybe dampen it a bit. So the key with these kind of heated ones is to really turn them a lot. With the slow one, the cold one, what you have to do is you have to allow worms to get into your compost. That's very important. Don't be surprised to find all sorts of kind of different insects in there. They usually do a lot of good, and then you can use your compost. Now at number 8, we are going to look at soil in general. Soil comes in 3 forms. We have clay soils, we have silty soils, and also sandy soils. And clay soils being the very kind of fine particles, and silt slightly bigger, and then sandy soils of course have the grain size is quite large. Now, in order to improve any of these soils, all you have to really do is add compost. The reason for that is because compost has this ability to be free draining and also it can hold quite a lot of water in it as well. So if you add it to sandy soils, it's going to allow your soil to kind of hold a lot of water. If you add it to clay soils, it's going to improve the kind of draining ability of your soils as well. So the cure really for any kind of soil is going to dig in some compost. Now you can also do a kind of a no-dig method, and that's basically where you add mulches on top of your soil, but that tends to take 2 or 3 years for the worms really to go up to the mulch, take it down, also dig and aerate your soil as well, loosen it up basically. So the best thing really to do is first, when you're starting with a vegetable garden, is to dig really deeply, take out any kind of stones that are bigger than fist size, because if any plant hits it, it's not going to work. And also the deeper your soil is going to be, the more the roots can really spread out as well, you know. At number 7, we're going to talk a little bit about seeds. Of course, get the best quality seeds you can get. Organic seeds or biodynamic seeds are fine. Now, sowing seeds in modules is fine, of course, but if you can afford a bit more compost, then of course sow your seeds in slightly bigger containers, and they usually just do way better if you do that. Planting them out, you need to, once they get kind of root bound in your container, you need to either pot them on into a bigger container, or you need to really start hardening them off, and that takes about a week, and that just means that you kind of acclimatize your plants to the outside conditions. Looking at number 6, we're going to talk a bit about weeding. You often find when you position your plants or space your plants the correct distance apart, that that space actually will soon be filled up with weeds, and they soon kind of rob your plants of either shade, or they take away all the nutrients as well. Also kind of your plants kind of feel a little bit squashed in as well. Now, vegetables obviously are never going to win out over weeds, and the reason for that is because a vegetable is nothing more than a weed that has been bred for years and years and years, and because of that it's kind of become weaker and weaker. So weeds will always kind of win the race, if you like, you know. Now at number 5, we're going to talk a bit about mulching. I actually made a video as well on it that explains the proper methods of mulching, different types of mulch. It's usually a very good way to go about it if you can get large quantities of mulch. It's kind of like saves a lot of work in weeding. It also feeds your ground, kind of a no-dig gardening methods. It also kind of encourages life to kind of really to flourish, like worms and insects, to really kind of develop a lovely kind of little mini kind of ecosystem. So it's all in all, it's a wonderful thing to do if you can get it, you know. So at 4 then we are going to look at feeding your plants. Now this can be your little seedlings, providing they're big enough, or your vegetables out there in the garden. You can use anything from compost tea. Again, I made a video on that as well. To comfrey feed, to nettle tea feed. Even worm urine is great to use as well. Now make sure to maybe apply it every 2 weeks, but if you can't really get it, then maybe once a month is fine as well, and that just kind of really boosts your plants, kind of gives them a bit of a head start, and it kind of keeps them healthy. So then at number 3 we have natural pest control, and it's a huge area, so I would say try to do things like crop rotation. I made a video on that, so check it out. Also try to kind of create a lot of biodiversity in your garden. Try to plant lots of kind of trees or shrubs that attract kind of friendly, kind of predatory kind of insects that will gobble up a lot of aphids and different kind of pests. Also try to look at your garden every few days, 2 or 3 days. The reason for that is because if you don't check your garden, you soon notice that things will actually get out of hand. a pest can get in very fast and eat up a lot, like slugs can eat up a lot of kind of vegetables in no time. So also aphids can become a problem. So really check out your garden, really look at your vegetables. That's probably one of the best tips I can give you. And you will soon learn all the different pests and diseases as well. So this kind of concludes the video. I know I said top 10, but I kind of left a few blank because I wanted you to maybe fill in the spaces. You know, just comment away, tell us what you think is great for organic gardening. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Now make sure to like up this video as well, and thanks for watching.